These are my dogs, Buddy and Belgo. They both really like to eat. Let me show you how fast they like to eat. Ready? Nice work. Sometimes they eat so fast that they get sick right afterwards. So the problem that I'm going to try to solve with my experiment is how to slow my dogs down and make them eat at a more reasonable speed so that they don't get sick.
I did a bit of research and found the Kong Slow Feed Puzzle Dog Bowl, which apparently I can buy at my local PetSmart. According to the website, it's supposed to help slow down the eating process, and it does this by preventing dogs from taking huge gulps of their kibble. And so I think I'm going to integrate this into my experiment and see how it goes. Based on my small bit of research, here is my hypothesis. Because large gulps of kibble will not be possible, Buddy will consume food at a slower rate using the puzzle bowl than his regular bowl. So here's what I predict might happen. Over here in my regular bowl, the food will be gone pretty quick. But in the puzzle bowl, it should take him just a little bit longer to get rid of all that delicious kibble. What are the variables that I'm looking at in this hypothesis? Well, my independent variable is the bowl type. So my independent variable will be what I have control over, and I'm going to try both his regular bowl and the Kong puzzle bowl. My dependent variable is going to be kibble consumption rate or speed. And I think I'll probably just measure this as the time it takes for him to empty his bowl. We need some control variables. So I'm going to always use the same dog. I'm only going to use Buddy for this experiment. I'm going to use the same brand and the same starting volume of kibble. And I'm going to do my best to get the dog to the same level of hunger each time I test his speed. Here's how I'm going to run the experiment. Remember, do not actually perform any real experiments as you're making your own videos. After our morning walks, I'm going to give Buddy a half a cup of kibble in his normal bowl and record the time it takes for him to empty the bowl. I'm going to do this for 1 week. So 7 mornings, walk, feed, record. The next week, I'm going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to just use the other bowl. Since I'm directly manipulating the independent variable, which is the bowl type, this is a causative experiment. Since I'm using the same dog and doing a before old bowl and after new bowl design, this is a before and after type experiment. Here are the raw data I obtained from my 2-week experiment. So over on the left side of the table, you can see 7 days, 7 times that it took him to eat all his kibble. He's a pretty fast eater. Over on the right, you can see with the Kong bowl, slightly higher times. But now I need to figure out how best to graphically represent these data. My independent variable was my bowl type, and this is a qualitative discrete variable. I can't count the type of bowl I'm using. I can just describe it and put it into a category as either a control bowl, the old one, or the Kong bowl, the new one. My dependent variable is time, and this is a quantitative continuous variable. There are any different number of measurements between, let's see, my lowest 8 seconds and my longest 13 seconds. We could have 13 or 8.1, 8.11. We could be here for decades trying to count all these numbers. So that is definitely a continuous variable. So based on the classification of those variables, I should use a bar graph. Here's what my bar graph looks like. Over on my x-axis, I have my independent variable, which was discrete, with my control bowl and my Kong bowl. And on my y-axis, I have my continuous dependent variable, which is time in seconds. So I haven't run any statistical tests on my data, but it definitely looks like the Kong bowl led to an increase in the time it takes Buddy to empty his bowl in the morning. The last thing I need to do is revisit my original hypothesis and see if the experimental data support it. I hypothesized that Buddy would consume food at a slower rate using the puzzle bowl than his regular bowl. So remember, regular bowl, food goes quick. Puzzle bowl takes a little bit longer for it to all disappear. So I conclude that the experimental data support my hypothesis, and I have really high hopes for all of my floors in the coming months. Thanks for watching.